Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another review, this time of set 71838, Kai's Motorcycle Speed Race. This set retails for $10, released this year. It has 79 pieces and two minifigures, Kai and a Spectral Dragonian Scout. Some pretty neat little box art here of the two motorcycles in action with something in the background there, silhouetted by the moon. Dragons Rising box art this year with Sora and one of the dragon teachers, if I'm remembering correctly. The side here is Kai with a big molded sword that comes in the set. And then on the back is showing the two guys going at it on the motorcycles. And then you open the set up right here with a push tab. And the top of the box shows the figure in scale. Inside the box is actually, for me personally, my very first paper bags I've ever seen. So it seems like they're starting to get rolled out in, my area, which I guess that's pretty neat to see. And then obviously it has the instruction manual. On the back shows the other Dragons Rising sets released this summer, as well as advertising that new episodes are out. So, pretty nice. Nothing else really to show off. Let's get this set built. Alright, now that we have the set built, let's take a look at the figures. First off is the Spectral Dragonian Warrior, who is honestly really, really awesome. He's got all these translucent limbs, translucent arms, or you can see the red hands, and translucent legs as well, which all look really sick. The only thing I'm not sold on is the emblem on the chest. I don't know, something about it is just kind of wonky to me. It kind of just looks like a weird spider with obviously 6 legs instead of 8. So not quite as good as I think the armor that the slightly older Dragonian warriors have. But the back is covered up by printing, but it's just like some blue scales and a bit of metal armor right there on the bottom on the sides that you can see. Comes with a little ghost sword, I guess, and then a very angry face, very showing his teeth and all that, and then the back is just some scaling and stuff. All in all, a pretty good figure. I quite like the translucent blue arms and legs. That's really cool. It's really just the chest emblem that I think could be a little cooler. But Kai, I'm actually quite a big fan of. It's a simple but very good looking suit. I quite like the shoulder pauldron with the dragon head on one side and then just the regular golden armor on the other. And then, just some simple straps over red gi with a bit of like flame printing right there in the orange. And then some knee pads on there with some cloth, the belt as well. And then when you remove those katanas, you can see symbol of fire right there. And then the other back printing isn't crazy. Obviously the belt continuing back there, and then just some cloth wrinkles. Taking off his hair, you can see he's got a secondary facial expression that's very happy, and then twist the head around. The other one is very angry, and then he's got this really, really neat molded sword piece that is really cool, that I believe is the same one that came in the Fire Knight Met, though I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure they're the same, if not similar. But just a really cool translucent red piece with that like dragon flame gold reaching up on it. It's just a really cool sword. Ninjago always has some really cool molded swords, that's for sure. But moving on to the motorcycles, they are both obviously very small and simple ones, nothing crazy. It is just a $10 set after all, but honestly, I'm a fan of Kai's, as simple as it is. It's got, the two big molded pieces to hold in the tires, and then just, a little bit of red detailing, but I think it works. The little blades pointing up front, and then blue headlight, I guess, and then you very simply, take off remove his sword, and then you just lean him over, and obviously you can connect them fully if I took the time to do that, but pretty simple way to get them on the bike and have them riding around. And then not too much more to say. It really is just a simple bike. It does all the things that it would do, rolls around, does all that. You know, you can turn it a bit. You know, it works as a Lego bike. You know, what more can I say? The Dragonian Ghost bike is a little bleh to me. I think it's just too much just black used. Like, I think some more blues, maybe some translucent pieces here and there would have fit the color scheme of the figure more. Obviously, Kai, he's got all the reds and golds and oranges that cover up, you know, at least the body of the bike. But obviously, other than right here and then these on the side, that's all there is for color. I just wouldn't have used, well, they're probably not going to make these clips in too many other colors, so that's fine. You know, Lego's like that, but surely there's a different color of like gold bar piece we could have used here, or just a different piece altogether to just make it slightly more interesting color scheme wise. And in my humble opinion, that's what I would do, you know, make it more interesting for kids and stuff and all that as well. The only other thing that makes it stand out is like the red rims for the wheels is about it. It's just, it's a boring villain bike. And, you know, sure, it's like a $5 bike, right, if the whole set's 10, but I think more interesting things could have been done with it. But overall, though, I think it is a good little set, you know, $10, you know, it's not breaking the bank or anything. You're not getting anything crazy with it, but it's just a good, solid little set. I think you get some very good figures in it and, you know, some decent little bikes. So overall, I definitely recommend it as an adult or to, you know, a gift to a kid. Either way, if you want to see more Lego content, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to all that. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.